for me, like I guess like the quip or like the thesis of like the body of work I'm working on now is like technology is sinister and comforting, akin to religion, and it fulfills the same needs. We relate with each other in such like a weird way now that was just so foreign. Like I don't know, I grew up in the age of the internet, and it still seems like I'm a stranger in a strange land, you know? Because you make these connections with people, you know, you see what's out there, but it's not like going to church, you know, where you're all together like holding hands, like a real human connection. So I think like technology is not a good replacement for religion. It's just what we have arrived at. I went to NYU for my first year for computer programming. I thought I was going to be a developer, and I always really felt the need to work with my hands, and I felt like I could exercise some of those skills I learned in like the computer programming, and that like mentality of, you know, you have like the end goal and you're able to break it down into like a series of smaller questions and like smaller like things you need to solve in order to kind of achieve this like larger like goal, you know. And I feel like I use that approach a lot in my sculpture. It's like with the rose extruder, for instance, like, you know, you have the end goal, I want this thing to extrude roses, and then you break that down into, you know, 1,000 small questions, and then you just work down the list. And then it's kind of just the approach really that has really informed me. Back in the day, when rigging ropes on ships would get frayed or damaged, sailors would repurpose these ropes and weave them into, you know, welcome mats, give them like, you know, put them out front of the rooms and stuff, and as a kind of a way to pay homage to the rope itself, which is, you know, what the ship couldn't really exist without the rope, you know. It's like, and I just kind of love that idea of taking this kind of downtrodden, like cast aside material and kind of breathing new life into it, and it assumes a completely new like aesthetic form. It's such a cold, dead material. It's like silicone tubing that they use in like hospitals and fish tanks, and like, but it kind of, the fact that it can be so reminiscent of life is like, that's to me is like really like special. I feel like I really like found myself as an artist in this space, and I really resonate with it. I feel like it has like a good vibration to it that, you know, is rare. And it's tragic that, I mean, they're demolishing the building, this building, and then the adjacent building right there, which is this piano factory that's been like making like these beautiful grand pianos for like 150 years or so. And it's just sad that like there's so much history in these two buildings, and it's just, it's pretty heartless in a way, and just without thought they're just gonna rip them down and make some like speculative like waterfront condos. Just is really sad, because I mean, I feel really connected to this space and this building and this area, and it's like you said, I never paint, I never build up surfaces. If I do add something, it's because I'm replacing another material that I removed, and to me that's like really ties into like the whole alchemical side of my practice, which, you know, the alchemist's goal is to just understand matter as a way to find a place in the world, and by understanding and manipulating matter, that's like the closest that you could ever achieve like a divine state.